The one and only Niklas Utman from Nix. The stage is yours.
All right, welcome to Nick's presentation, and I'm Nick, as Johan said. Let's cut straight to the point here. Sugar and junk food are heading towards the same situation as tobacco was in a few years ago. They still might be in denial, just like the tobacco companies. But science is catching up real fast, building a case against sugar and empty carbohydrates. Just as with tobacco, the industry is trying to make us confused. We get a lot of messages here. Is the fat? Is the sugar? Is it the calories? Are the kids not exercising enough? It's your fault if you're obese, or maybe even diabetic. I'm a lifelong entrepreneur, and my food habits have been very, very bad. I've been in between meetings for the last 25 years. I've also been even sponsored by sugar companies because I was in the music business. And I didn't even reflect on that. My mother became diabetic when she was 3 years older than I am, type 2 diabetic. I didn't reflect on anything until I had my blood samples. And my blood samples was very bad. I was heading towards the same situation as my mom. I need to take you through a 30-second crash course about sugar metabolism. If you consume sugar or wheat or white bread or any kind of empty carbohydrates, wheat and bread turns into sugar in your body in minutes. Wheat and sugar is the same thing. Your blood sugar goes up. The pancreas, this little thing in here, secretes insulin. Insulin is the hormone that tells the cells to convert sugar into, guess what? Fat. And the fat is stored to be used at a later stage. Every cell in the body practically can store sugar as fat. Well, using fat at a later stage, it's pretty hard when modern day diets, we usually eat stuff all the time. We keep continuously raising our blood sugar all the time, all the time, all the time. There's always sugar in our blood, so we don't really get to burning the fat. And we're simply not evolutionary fit to do this. We have been on this planet for about 2 million years. And all this time, the problem was not this excess of food. The problem was we starved. The body is geared for starvation. It's beautiful when you start to look at the biochemistry in our bodies. We can handle starvation. We are very, very good at this. It's usually double or triple systems that deal with this. With excess, we totally suck. We're not geared to have this overflow and this excess of food, and especially junk food. So, did that make you feel better about the whole situation? I'm still totally confused. What is going on? Is it the sugar, the insulin, the body fat, the diseases? What's happening? Well, we can be pretty certain that something is happening. I've seen studies now and we think that almost 40–50% of the American population will be 20 kilo overweight within 5 years. Diabetes, especially diabetes type 2, that's when the body doesn't react to insulin. It's a rampant increase in every country in the world. So what to do about it? Well, I know what I did about it. When I got my bad blood samples, I started taking out everything that was bad for me from the diet. I started taking out pasta and bread and sugar, basically all the stuff I loved. I loved all this stuff. Life became extremely boring. And I heard this inner voice in me, you got to do something about it. You can do something about it. Let's do something better. And I was also thinking, why isn't the big food companies doing anything about this problem? Then I remembered some other things from other industries I've been in, where I've been 3, 4, 5 years too early with things. So do it yourself to get some indulgence. I'm good with machinery. I can make chocolate. This is what I do. I take recipes and I take out the bad ingredients. I test my blood with everything we put in our recipes that it really works. And I've probably done more blood samples than anybody in, I would almost say, Europe the last 2 years. I'm at about 3,000 at this point for every ingredient, for everything that we do. I test it on myself. And yes, I am oversimplifying it. I have 4 minutes to go here. We only have 10 minutes. There's actually worse things than the blood sugar increase. The fructose part of the molecule is what is really bad. And I heard somebody brought up something in a previous keynote here with our product as an example. And I just happened to see that their product is packed with fructose. The part of the sugar molecule that really, really creates havoc in your system. With ghrelin and leptin, that are the hormones that regulate satiety and hunger. That's serious stuff. And that's why calories from added sugars are worse than other calories, because they create havoc in our system. They create problems with insulin in the long run, and with leptin and ghrelin that regulates. I mean, you can probably think of it like this. You have a big meal. You eat a big meal. Then after that, you can easily eat 200 grams of candy. And you still don't feel as you're full. You can go on eating candy. And you can drain that with a couple of glasses of orange juice. You still don't feel full. So what do we do? Instead of sugar, we use stevia. We use sweet fibers. We use natural sweeteners from plums and pears and all that, called erythritol. I think this is healthy confectionery. I'm pretty good for a 54-year-old that was diagnosed with very close to diabetes a couple of years ago. But before I end this presentation, right here, our whole story could have ended. I'm good at innovation, but I have to give it to the food industry that they are champions on everything else. I had the best products already 3 years ago. It was impossible to even get meetings with the big supermarket chains and all that. They were not interested. The products didn't look right. They didn't have the right story. We didn't have the right connections. So here is what you should be looking at in your startups. You need to get this on board in your projects. You need somehow to work with strategy. You need to work with consumer testing. You need to have somebody help you with the marketing. Looks like my ideas, but reality, I couldn't come up with this. You have to have the best brains in the business, kind of taking your idea and put it in words and in graphics. This is what we have been running in Sweden for the last few weeks. These are still up, I think. You have to have this whole thing of, I mean, I thought I was pretty good at graphics, but this is so much more than what we could do in a little 5-person startup. The point I'm making here, what we get into, is also that even if you get listings, even if you get all these things, you have to have so much more than just what you can get from being a startup with passion. You have to bring in people, because the innovators are just like me. I come up with the ideas. You have to form bonds with the insiders in the industry. It's not just the cash. You have to admit it. It's the brains you're after. Because if you have the brains, you're going to get the cash. So we've been very lucky. We won some awards. We are very well reviewed. But even with all this, we have the financing, we have the brain power, we have the products, we have everything. I still don't know if this is going to be a success. You have to be very humble about it because it's the consumer that decides. And I have 6 seconds to go, so thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, That's very good. So great. I hope you test the Kex bars. They're all on your tables, right? It's fantastic. I eat them all the time, and that's not why I look like this. Now a pitch. I think we have Kafka ready for stage, right? Yes, Kafka. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Yes. So, how do I make the best of those 90 seconds in front of a group of people that know way more than what I do about food tech, taken collectively or individually? As an entrepreneur, making you surprised is quite of a challenge, but bear with me. So, if we go back to some big trends, data, and analytics, it's safe to say that within 2 years, many of us will be eating proteins that come from a source that most of us in this room never ate until now. The surprise is that that source of protein is coming out of that box. Probably. So my name is Alberto. I'm co-founder of Kafka, and what we do is to make premium products out of food products with insect proteins. So how many of you have insects in their diets today? So a few hands down there. Okay. What we focused on when we started the company was to bring this novelty into our product, and we designed a whole full experience about something that people needed to taste for the first time, feeling safe and surprised. So this is how we design our product. And we're not just a branding or marketing company. We design the technology to make it happen. Thank you.
So very good then. Thanks for that, Kafka. Insects again. Let's all have insects. Eat more insects. Insects are the future, right? But now for another thing that belongs to the future is, of course, algae. And here we have our